morning and welcome to Dollars and Cents with Freedman Financial on North Shore 1049. My name is Marc Freedman. I'm President and CEO of Freedman Financial, located in Peabody, Massachusetts, right across the street from the North Shore Mall and just above Alto Forno Restaurant. Everybody asks me, Mark, you must eat at Alto Forno all the time. Well, fortunately, I don't. I love the restaurant, but fortunately, they're not open for lunch, so I don't have that temptation of going downstairs every day. I do get to smell the food that's getting cooked. It does not filtrate into my office, but I do, is filtrate even a word? I don't even know. I do smell it, though, as I walk in the front door, though, so the downstairs area. But great restaurant downstairs, and if you have not swung by Alto Forno, certainly do so. They do not pay me to say this. I do not get any sponsorship money. They don't pay for anything for me. It's just, I like the restaurant. It's all good. Go visit. Anyways, here we are again. We're approaching the end of October, Halloween just a few days away. If you've been venturing into Salem, how's the traffic been? How's your experience been? It is a big time for Salem. They love all the visitors that come by. They love to see all the costumes, all the crazies, all the everythings that come by. You just don't know what you're going to see in Salem. A lot of great restaurants have opened up down there as well. So make sure that you visit there. And you know what? It's still Salem. The graveyard is still there in November and December. I mean, they're still dead. They're not going anywhere. So the graveyard's still there. The Witch Museum's still there. Lots of things go on. If you say, you know what, I don't want to deal with the traffic, but go in at a later time. It's a great time to go visit Salem. A lot of other great towns in the area. Newburyport's really blowing up. Go see that if you haven't been down to Beverly. Some of the great theaters that are in the area. It's a great way to spend some money, hard-earned money that you've made to really make an experience. And that's, you know, one of the things we talk about here on Dollars and Cents is, yeah, as much as it's important to making sure that your portfolio is structured properly, that you are positioned for retirement, that you're building wealth, that you're drawing income to support your lifestyle, at the end of the day, you got to spend money. It's all about spending money and spending it in the way that best works for you. I'm not really an outdoorsy person. I'm not one that likes to go on these, you know, hikes and long adventures or even go to museums, but I do like experiences. I think just walking the streets of Salem or Gloucester or Beverly or just taking a vacation down to a beach or a pool or something like that is great for me. I'm a pool guy, not a beach guy. People have always asked when they say, would you prefer the mountains or the ocean? I say I prefer the pool. That's my answer. But given the choice, I guess, if I had a choice of picking the mountains or the ocean, I guess I'd pick the ocean, but not necessarily to swim in, but to sit by, because I always get freaked out over the whatever might reach up from the sand and grab my toes or whisk by the side of my legs or something. That freaks me out. So if I can't see it, I don't want to participate in it. So that's my thing. So another phobia. And I know I'm going off crazy subjects. So one of the other things that I do not do, that I'm petrified of, and people will think this is funny, I do not ice skate. I do not roller skate. And what is the reason why? Well, one of the things that I love to do is I play the piano. And my biggest fear in the world, and I don't know, I've never heard this story ever happen, but it's still a fear of mine, is that if I were to go ice skating and I fell on the ice, you know, landed flat down with my hands, somebody would just come by and with their skates and just chop off the ends of my fingers. Now, I don't know that that would really happen. I've never heard that story of ever happening. I don't know what happens if someone's skate hits your fingers. Does it stop? But, you know, I hear about sharpened skates, and I don't want to run that risk. So I don't do that, and the same fear of roller skates, because I really don't want my fingers to get crushed and pummeled. And so that's two things I don't do. Okay, enough on that. Once again, my name is Marc Freedman, President and CEO of Freedman Financial, located in Peabody. We've been providing financial planning and investment management advice to individuals and families all throughout the North Shore, the Merrimack Valley, the southern New Hampshire area since 1968. I had an interesting meeting this past week. I actually met with somebody who was convinced that they thought they would like to acquire our firm. They've heard all these great things about the branding, about who we are, the reputation that we have in the community. I hadn't thought I was going to talk about this in the radio, but I thought it might be relevant. And they wanted to buy our firm. So I said, well, I'll sit down and talk. We've been at this for 53 years. I love doing what we're doing. I certainly don't want to leave the business, but we could be part of something bigger, and maybe that happens at some point. I don't know. But this was kind of interesting. The gentleman who I met with was talking about how he wanted to wanted our firm to be part of something so that we would be part of the largest financial planning and investment management firm in New England. Then, as much as that might sound nice, the more and more he was talking, made me begin to appreciate the personalization of service and relationships that we have with our clients. He had these big pictures of how big the firm could be, how much we'd be known, and we'd build these, all of these scalability models, and everything would be automated, and all we'd need to do is just, meet with the client periodically and do that. And I'm like, that's not what we do. But maybe that's the direction of some of these larger firms. And it made me really gain some appreciation for the relationships that we've built with our clients, in that it's truly personalized. When he heard that we have 450 different households, and each one of our clients have a personalized net worth statement that we maintain for them, that each one of them has a unique portfolio, not some cookie cutter, dump it in this model and everybody gets the same thing. I said, how can you do that when your clients are on what I call payouts? They need money. 60 to 70% of our clients now are retired. They need money to support their life over and above the Social Security check or pension check that they get. They're no longer getting a paycheck, and they say, I need to draw money. And most people think, well, what's the interest I could get from my account? Or what's the dividends? I'll just take that. Folks, that doesn't work anymore. That's old school thinking. Very old school thinking. We take what's called a total return approach. When we have an understanding of your collective portfolio, what we do is we look at the portfolio and everything else that you have and say, all right, let's say this person needs an additional $3,000 a month to support their retirement over and above Social Security and pension or whatever. Where do we go to draw $3,000 a month from their collective accounts that pays the least amount in taxes, and when the taxes are necessary on some of the distributions, that we're withholding the proper amount of taxes so that you're not surprised in April when you file your taxes, so that you do it in the smartest possible manner. And what I'm finding is some of these big firms, they just, and this guy was showing me, he says, oh, you got to see the system that we've built, and he plugs it all in, and I gave him an example, and he says, well, this is the answer. I said, well, that's nice, but what if the client wants this, or what if that, well, we can't accommodate for that. And he says, really, how often does that happen? I'm like, that happens more often than not. We are not, when we're dealing with money, we don't fall just into just a simple model. Everybody uses money differently. You might draw money out on a monthly basis, but then periodically you might say, well, we want to buy a car. And I don't want to make a monthly payment. I want to pull $30,000 out of my account to buy a car. Or maybe we'd like to explore helping the kids out a little bit with some costs, and we want to pay for the kitchen appliances for the kitchen that they're remodeling. Or we want to help with college costs. Or maybe I've got to periodically write some checks because my parents can't afford to be living where they are, and we need to help out as kids. So an interesting statistic actually about this. Recently, it used to be that parents were helped out. You heard generations ago where the parents would move back in with the kids because they needed the help of the kids, and the parents generally only had a pension or maybe a little bit of money. The world has changed so much that the adult parents right now, people in their 60s, 50s, 60s, are finding that they are financially supporting their children despite the fact that the children make more money than the parents. That seems rather strange to me, but it's a phenomenon that we're in right now where the younger generation, the 30 and 40-year-olds, feel like they need to buy, spend, have just to keep up with everybody, and they don't seem to have enough money to do that, and so they rely on mom and dad who live a much simpler lifestyle to help support it. There's something wrong with that, and we'll want to continue to explore that and talk about some of the findings that we've seen. But we've got a bunch of stuff to talk about today. One of the things that I want to share with you is a story that I've talked about a couple times, but I thought it would be valid to share in the next segment. It's about breaking myths surrounding old age. When you think about back to your grandparents and your great-grandparents about what they did in retirement, I got to believe that when you're thinking about retirement, it's different from the way you envision grandma and grandpa and great-grandma and grandpa living. But yet, when people talk about retirement, when they talk about it out loud, they still talk about it like it was in the old days. So I want to try to help you break those myths. We're going to do that. And I also want to talk about a story that came out of the Wall Street Journal. It says, the expenses people often forget when they plan for retirement. I thought that might be an interesting story as well. We'll talk a little bit about the markets. We'll talk about other stuff that's going on. There's so much going on, and yeah, who knows what the political landscape will look like in the weeks, months, and years to follow. It's all up to us to figure it all out, and to find out, you're listening to Dollars and Cents with Freedman Financial on North Shore 104.9.